Hey, it's noon. Who's going to join us today? This will be interesting. I'm not in my office today because, frankly, my office, I've been gone for 2 days. Actually, I've been gone for about 3 days. And really busy for the last 2. And my office is disgusting. And I've been so busy this morning, I didn't even have time to clean it up. So, since I work from home, I can work from my other office, which is my family room. Right here, see? Woo! Yeah. So, dogs and such are all around me. Anyway, so who's joining us today? Somebody just joined. Say hi so I know who's there. Angel! Yay! Hi, Angel. It's so good to see you. It's not the best light, but that's because there's a big picture window back there in my kitchen, but oh well. It is what it is, right? Sometimes you just got to make stuff work. Oh, look, see that yellow vest in the background too? That's my husband's for when my dog bit me. So I have a Band-Aid. That's that yellow vest. See that right there? My husband has this weird, pet peeve. He hates when people are walking their dogs in the dark on the road because he's always worried that he's going to not see them, or I don't know, that they're just all wearing dark in the dark. So he literally, when he walks our dogs, wears a yellow reflective vest. He's such a nerd. He is literally legit a pocket protector wearing engineering nerd. So I don't think he'd have hurt feelings if I said that. So anyway, hi, Laura. It's good to see you. So here's what we're talking about today. What we're talking about is, how do you live a life that is full of the things that really matter and not full of all the bullshit, the crap, all of the stuff that weighs us down? How do you do that? How do you live a life that is, I can't even, I was just talking about that yellow vest, and now I can't quit seeing it, so I'm just going to do this. So how do you live a life like that? How do you live a life full of what matters? Which for me is God, family, taking care of people I love, my business, my nutritional program, taking care of me because I love me too. All of those kinds of things. Church, volunteer work, those are the things that are really important to me. My friends, I'm sure there's other things I've left off the list, but those are the things that really matter to me. What I have been noticing lately is that I'm about to turn 50. Everybody knows that. I know it's my platinum birthday. I'm turning 50 on the 25th of this month. And if you haven't gotten in on my birthday present drawing on my private Facebook page, Beth Ashton Gilmore, be sure to do that. I haven't posted it yet today or posted a winner from yesterday, but every day this month, hi Heather Lojeski, every day this month, I'm giving away a present. Well, it's not every day this month. It's every day up till my birthday. And then on my birthday, it's going to be a big grand prize drawing. Woo! So today is going to be something really fun. So when we get off of here, I am going to go on there and post that. So watch for it. I pick a winner usually by the end of the night, sometimes first thing in the morning. But anyway, so what we're talking about today is, how do you live a life full of what matters and not what weighs you down? So I was talking about how I'm just turning 50 and I got distracted by my birthday. Sorry, squirrel. I'm turning 50 and I am someone who, I've been a coach my whole life. I teach people how to be productive, how to live a life by design, all of that stuff. I have been very, very, very fortunate. And people always tell me how lucky I am that I have a husband that has a full-time job and insurance, and then I can work and have my own business and have more flexibility and all that. Here's the thing. I have always done exactly what I loved to do. Before I got married, I did exactly what I loved to do. I have always filled my life with the things that matter to me and not the things that everybody else thinks matters to me. So I think that one of the things that gets very annoying, sorry about that light in the background, speaking of annoying, one of the things that gets very annoying is when you meet somebody that has a life that is flexible, that they live a life by design, all of that, you think, gosh, they're so lucky. No, they're not. You know what they are? They're smart and they work hard, but they work hard in a different way than is typical in our country. They work hard in a way where they're inventive and creative. That's what it is to be an entrepreneur, or to have entrepreneurial spirit. And it really takes an entrepreneurial spirit for you to fill your life with what matters and not be weighed down by the things that don't. Because what our society tells us is you need to go to college, and you need to get a degree, then you need to find a good paying job, and then you need to make sure you get insurance and do all that stuff. And I'm not saying any of this stuff isn't important or valuable. I'm just talking about the paradigm that we live in. And then society says you need to get married, have a family, and you need to do all of these things, and your kids need to be well adjusted and in 200 million sports, and they better be good at those sports. And if they're not, then you better put them on a traveling team or hire a special coach. And if you don't have money for that, then you better figure it out and get a new job. And then over and over and over. So this is what you're doing for decades of your life. You're going to somebody else's business, and you're letting them pay you for what they think you're worth. And then you clock out and you go live your life for 4 hours a day until you fall asleep and then start all over again. Okay, that's insane. That's insane. Now, I know lots of great people, some of them on this call, that have great corporate jobs and they love them and they're good at them and they're awesome. That is great. My sister's one of those people. She loves her job. She loves it, loves it. So I may not be speaking to you with regards to the job thing, but what I can say is, we live in a paradigm, we live in a society where there's particular expectations of us. And the problem with that paradigm is that from an early age, what we learn is that it's better to say yes than no. It's better to do things to make other people happy, and it's better to care about what everyone around you thinks you should do and thinks is important. And what happens as a result of that mindset, because we're talking now, I'm 50 years old, right? So I am better at not falling into that mindset than most people because I'm a coach and I try to be awake in my life. And I have a lifestyle that actually allows me to not have to succumb to working for someone else. I get to work for myself and do what I want. But the thing about that is that it's because I created it. And if you want to live a life that is full of what matters and not full of what's weighing you down, then you have to create it. That's the first step. You have to wake up. You have to go, listen, why right now I'm almost 50 years old and I've gotten into sort of a trap in the last 12 months, not with my job and with what I do for a living to make money, but with some other things where I have said yes in places where I should have said no. Or I've been doing things that I enjoyed at first, but I've been doing them now for 2-3 years and I don't enjoy them anymore. But I'm kind of in this assumed role or responsibility that no longer brings me joy. So eventually what I'm going to have to do is either just suck it up and keep doing it, which is kind of what I've been doing. And now I realize that is not healthy. Because what's happened is I'm spending all this time doing things that no longer bring me joy because maybe, that, I don't know, volunteer commitment has it's just expired for me. I did it and it was great, but now it's not fantastic. Hi, Anne, woohoo! And so now what I'm learning is that I just need to say no. That what I need to do is I need to say no more than I need to say yes. I just watched this great video from someone that I love, a mentor of mine. She's an amazing businesswoman. And she said, you should be saying no more than you say yes. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is great to fit that in. But we don't do that because our society has actually taught us to say yes more than we say no. Be a yes person. You want to be a yes man? You want to be a yes person? Say yes to life. No. Do you know what? Every single time that you say yes to something, you're saying no to 20 other things. And is the thing you're saying yes to something that really matters in your life? So where this conversation ends up is in priorities. It always ends up in priorities. I'm going to give you a clue, okay? Anytime you talk to me about something, it's going to pretty much end up in either time blocking or priorities is the issue. So you have to stop and actually be conscious in your life and go, what are my priorities? What is important to me here? And I am in a place right now or I'm really reevaluating my priorities. I have a college kid. I have a kid who's a senior, who's going to college next year. I have two amazing businesses that I love. One that completely inspires me, and the other one that I really love, but I am kind of growing out of. And I am really reevaluating what's the best use of my time and what matters most to me in my life. You know, Stephen Covey has a story, and I don't think he made it up, but he's the one who's famous for it, where he gives this lecture and he has this big, huge glass pot and he fills it up with rocks. First he fills it up with water, then he fills it up with sand, then and he goes through until he gets to big rocks. By the time he gets to the big rocks, there's no room for anything. And so what he does is then he reverses it and he puts the big rocks in first, then the little pebbles, then the sand, then the water, and everything fits. And the whole point of that is that your big rocks are the things that really matter most in your life. And that's what you have to prioritize. And it can't be always just your job and your volunteer work and all the things you have to do. It needs to be things like self-care. It needs to be things like time for yourself. It needs to be, it needs to be the things that really fill you and excite you. And there is a lot of stuff that people expect us to do. There's a lot of things that people expect of us. And we cannot live our life based on other people's expectations. So what I'm going to invite you to do this week is I'm going to invite you to look at what are the top 5 priorities in your life. What are your 5 things that matter most? And how do you start filling your life with those? And what are the 5 things in your life that you don't give a shit about? Yep, I said it. You don't give a shit about. You don't care about it. It makes you crazy. It sucks the life right out of you. There may be people like that in your life. Get rid of them. This week, get rid of them. Call up church and say, hey, I've been doing this thing and I'm really not that interested in it anymore. I think I want to get out of that commitment. Or, if you're in a club or you help with your daughter's sports or whatever it is, get out of it. Just get the hell out of it now. And you know what? You don't owe any explanation to anyone. You can just say, circumstances in my life have changed and this no longer works for me. And they'll be like, oh, but really? No, sorry. It no longer fits into my priorities. Whatever you do, please don't say, I don't have time for that. Oh my gosh, the light is terrible. Sorry. Don't say I don't have time for that. Here's the truth. You have time for every single thing in your life that's important. And what you don't have time for is not important. So let's just tell the truth. I'm sorry, but this commitment is no longer important to me and it no longer fits in my life. And I'm so happy that it brings you joy, but for me, it no longer does that. Peace out. That's what you say. So, post down in the comments. I'd love to see the things you're saying no to. I have so many people that are private messaging me and saying, oh my gosh, I love the thing you said last week about peace outing and getting out of stuff that you is no longer bringing you joy. I just got out of this and this and this. But I'd love to see you post that in the comments. The reason that is because when you post in the comments, other people can learn from what you're doing and other people get contributed to. So this week, I want you to say no more than you say yes. And only say yes to the things that actually matter most in your life. And start looking at what are the things that weigh you down. Oh, wait, I want to say this. You don't believe I'm free anymore. Yeah, that's good. You don't. Yeah, and the interesting thing Angel just said, she is this incredible human being in general, but she also plays the pan drum. And she's amazing. And one of the things that people do a lot of times is the things that bring them joy, they don't often value enough to charge for, or they look at it as a hobby. And so they end up giving away a lot of their time and they end up devaluing themselves because this is something that could be that you charge for, that you could make a living from. And that's really where these conversations are going. Like the first conversation is, what are the priorities in your life? But the second conversation, like second, third level conversation is, do you love what you do in your life? Does what you do in your life bring you joy? Because if it doesn't, why in the heck are you doing it? Because I need a paycheck. Great. Find a paycheck that actually pays you what you're worth and that you really enjoy. And if you don't know what it is, call me and I'll help you figure it out. Because guess what I am? A badass coach that can help you. So, But that's not the point. The point is this week, say no more than you say yes, and fill your life with things that matter. And if you're doing things like watching TV shows, now I'm going to tell you, the show This Is Us owns me. I love that show. I watch it. I love the voice. There's shows I watch. But I watch these shows while I'm doing some busy work, like sometimes typing things into the computer, or if I'm doing busy work like folding clothes or steaming and ironing, things like chore stuff, then I will watch a show. But if you're sitting around on your butt watching TV for an hour or 2 or 3 a night, cut it out right now. Cut the cable, be done with it, and get into something that feeds your soul instead of numbs you and has you live a life in a trance. And for those of you that want some inspiration, especially Ann Harrison, who's on this call right now, watch the show Joe versus the Volcano. It is my favorite all-time movie. It is the most underrated movie on the planet. I don't know where you're going to find it. Maybe on Amazon, maybe not. I don't even know if it's in print anymore. It has Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks. It's fantastic. And what it shows you in the first opening scenes is what it is to be a human being in this culture, in this world. Everything's gray. You go to work, go to work, go to work, and you just don't even think about your life. It's time to wake up, people. It's time to live an extraordinary life, and it's time to stop settling for the crap in your life that you don't want, but you're not willing to say you don't want it. Start speaking up, okay? This week, get rid of 5 things that suck the life out of you and make time for 5 things that bring you joy. That's your homework. And I'm looking for you to report back so I can hear what you do. Make it an amazing week.